Today's episode of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown is brought to you by Jeanette McKenzie, Realtor at Forest Hill Signature, Jewelry Forever at jewelryforever.ca, and Beautified by Romina. Enjoy the show.
Broadcasting live from Glenmore Record Studios in Toronto, this is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown, your Sunday morning talk show with interesting guests, live musical performances, and the most fun you can fit in your coffee cup. Hosted by Scott Dion Brown and Regine Alaina, this is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown.
Hey, it's Franklin. We just talked about it before the show, and we didn't do that. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll show your camera too. Fine. Look at that. There's the mug.
Mr. Guest.
I just wanted to do it too because it looked cool. When
it does look cool. It feels cool too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I know it does. Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 262 of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown. I'm your host, the one, the only, Scott Dion Brown.
Not recording.
Oh, good call. Joined by the greatest co-host in all the galaxy, the one, the only,
Regine Alaina. Happy Sunday, everyone. It is officially spring, but does not look like it outside.
Yeah, we just got a random blast of cold. Like,
a random blast
really
of
cold.
Snow.
Yeah.
I thought it was done.
I believe we're technically in third winter right now.
Yeah, I think
and
that's a
then it's going
technical
to be, like, false spring happened, then it's going to be real spring.
Yeah.
And then sometimes there's, like, a ripple, like, fourth
Yeah.
mini winter. Yeah.
This weekend hit me really, like, I was shocked because it was so warm earlier in the week. And then yesterday I was walking around downtown and, like, it was cold, like
Snow.
bitterly, but also, like, bitterly cold. Like,
That's why I brought this out, because I was just like, it's a cozy Sunday.
Yeah, there you go. Well, let's introduce our guest right away.
Yes, we've already shown him a few times.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, our guest today is an actor, singer, musician, producer. A little bit.
Yeah. Writer, definitely.
Writer, host.
Sometimes.
Just a bunch of things, just a variety of things. Everybody, please welcome to the show, Michael Masurkevitch.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, and with the OG pronunciation as well, Masurkevitch.
Nice.
He tried.
My grandfather would be very proud of you.
Excellent.
Yeah, I am super stoked to be here. You guys are really cool, and I'm drinking out of this mug, and I'm surrounded by these pillows and Grogu, and it's just, you guys are great. This is awesome.
We take the branding very seriously. We try to,
We do.
We're here to sit down. We're here to sit down, everybody.
Yeah, no standing. We don't do that here.
We don't do that. No, that would be off-brand. So it's all about So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And how are you? What's been going on?
I'm doing all right. I came off a fantastic experience a couple of weeks ago in Perry Sound, which was really cool.
Nice.
I'm doing some edits on some writing projects. I've got some meetings with that. I've got a short film that I helped develop the story for that we're rehearsing. After this, I'm going to go to a rehearsal for the short film, just to get the blocking.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's start.
Cool.
Tell us about the Perry Sound experience. So you were working on a movie out there.
Yes.
So what can you? I know it's probably early stages. I don't know what you're allowed to say or whatever. But what can you say? Tell us a bit about it.
I'm not gonna talk about the name of the movie or the plot.
No.
But I can talk about the team and the process.
Sure.
It was the Butler brothers, who they're from Toronto, but they've been doing more and more work in Northern Ontario. They did Purgatory Jack, which they filmed up there. They did Unfriending, which they filmed around here. And, just these, like, salt of the earth hustlers who work really hard and just love what they do. And they won a pitch contest for their feature to be receive a little bit of production help and to get the location from this hotel called the Jolly Roger Inn in Parry Sound.
Huh.
So we were like in the middle of snowy Parry Sound. It's like 10 minutes away from the town. It's very isolated, surrounded by sort of beautiful forested hills. I would like go out hiking and rub snow on myself between like when I wasn't doing scenes. And the team was just so good. Like that, like, yeah, I do a lot of low budget indie things, and I'm a little arrogant, you know, just as a person. So sometimes I go in and I'm like, all right, well, you know, I guess it's time for Michael Masurkevitch to show these people how to act on a low budget set. And just everybody there was so good. Like I was like I was having anxiety attacks because I was like, this is so amazing. I'm working with the best actors ever. This is amazing. And like literally like had a couple of sleepless nights facing my deepest self-worth issues that were screaming at me that I didn't deserve to be there because of how good it was and how good the team was. And then and then part of the process was making peace with said deep self-worth issues so that I could then enjoy being there with this amazing cast and crew and being part of something like really good. Just like it's a big ensemble cast. It's I think it's I mean, two are sort of the leads, and then another like 4 or 5 are sort of the supporting, and then there's the creepy actor, the you know, I don't want to say too much, but the supernatural element.
Cool.
And just everyone on board was so good. Also, they you know, the guys are very good at just like rolling with who they have. And so they wrote a character who dresses like me, has several similarities. I mean, I think I'm a slightly better person in real life, but like, I don't know. And also like rubs snow on their body to unwind.
They probably saw you and they're like, we got to add that character. Saw you in the snow just like going for it.
We met at a film festival, and they met me and they were like, oh yeah, this guy's cool. And really weird. Let's write a character as him. It was great.
Did you get to play him? No, you didn't.
Huh?
No,
You
he
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
They wrote a character for me to play based partially on who I am as a person. So that was a really cool experience.
In fact, I did want to ask you, we'll probably come back to it a little bit, but I did want to ask you about your fashion sense.
Oh, yeah.
Because obviously you've got like an interesting outfit on right now, and
Interesting. He has an outfit on.
Yeah. But we met because we also met at TIFF a couple years ago, and I remember even at that time you were wearing, like, it's weird because I rarely.
He's really going into character right now.
But I mean, I rarely remember what somebody's wearing. But I remember you were wearing like, it was like a suit, but it was like a brown suit. It kind of looked like something from like the 1970s.
Okay, wait. The fact that you remember this and you barely remember what we talked about last week is
I know,
impressive.
and I still have the image in my head, so like it stands out, right? So that's why like I want to ask you a bit, like, you know, tell us a bit about your fashion style.
I love that. I was at a hippie dance party last week, and you know, it's very much like everyone's there to dance with themselves and their emotions, so it's a lot of fun. And this is what I was wearing. And then when I was on the dance floor and I wanted some like alone time, I was just dancing like this.
It's giving We Don't Talk About Bruno.
Oh yeah, kind of.
I was like, you could have worn that in your video.
That's true. I don't know if you've seen, what movie is that again?
Encanto.
Encanto. I don't know if you've seen Disney's Encanto.
No.
Anyway, Bruno in that movie, he's a kind of a mysterious guy, and you two kind of have with the hood and everything. It's nice.
It's the vibe.
I've gotten some, New Age Jedi reviews.
Yeah, I could see that.
Which, you know, I feel like I'm in good company for that kind of thing. This is the Jedi.
It's once you put the hood on that I was like, it's giving Bruno.
Yeah.
A bit,
Okay, let me look for a photo so I can show you a reference.
Excellent.
So when you're, so obviously when you're choosing what to wear, like, obviously this is not necessarily something you would just, I can't go to like H&M necessarily and find, right? So how does, where do you get your items from? And what goes into creating your style? Totally.
And you know what I love is that like every combination is different. But I love vests. I get them as gifts. This I wore. I was doing like a little indie short for a medieval project, and I wore this vest. And the guy that lent it to me was just like, buddy, like, that looks great, just keep it. Thank
Nice.
you, great guy. This is actually a curtain,
Oh,
a
yeah,
Value
okay.
Village curtain. That if one just
He
pops
shops
it
like you,
through
Scott.
the vest, it becomes a pair of sleeves. So
Oh.
I like doing that. And I was in a thrift store like 10 years ago, and I found a paisley silk smoking jacket.
Okay.
And I was like, this is great. And then I was getting ready to go to an event, and I was like, what suit jacket do I want to wear over my dress shirt and my bow tie? Wait a sec. How about this silk paisley smoking jacket? And I put it on. I was like, this feels comfortable. This is
This
amazing.
is Bruno, by the way.
Okay, yeah, I vibe with the Bruno thing.
You do.
Yeah.
And when he puts his hood on, he gets very into like, hang on,
It's mysterious.
very
Mysterious.
mysterious.
Yeah, that's his. Like, he's transitioning to mysterious when he puts the hood on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's.
See,
pretty
that's the
cool.
same vibe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I clearly
Bruno.
need to watch this movie.
You should.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a
Yeah.
fun movie. It's good.
Scott has a cover. You can just watch the cover.
Oh yeah, you see Bruno in there. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, yeah, so you
Amazing.
you put on the silk the jacket.
Yeah, and then it just kind of opened my mind to like clothing is just fabric, Someone sewed that fabric into that shape and that fabric into that shape and then put the sit down onto it, obviously, which is really freaking cool.
Yeah.
And this is just, someone sewed this fabric into a curtain, but then when I just like pull it through my vest, it's a scarf, it's a
He
cape,
literally
it's a
just
hood.
put everything on, and you
Yeah.
made him disassemble it.
Well, but
No,
it,
I that was willing. That was consensual disassemblement of my outfit.
that is cool though. Yeah, you're right. Putting it through the vest because I never would have realized that it's basically just a square or a rectangle of fabric, but it actually
Yeah.
works really well, and the vest will keep it in place, so it won't go anywhere.
There you go.
Totally. And I love that it's when I wear outfits like this, it's mutable, it's transferable. Like I can take this and turn it into like a wrap or like a sarong vibe.
Yeah.
Or put it over top of the vest. Like yeah,
It could be a poncho.
It can be a poncho. I can just be like a guy with no sleeves and a scarf. Like
There you
kind of
go.
This vibe, like
See?
so yeah, but it like just like I go to Value Village and I'm like, ooh, I really like that fabric. I have a vest that would look great with that fabric. Ooh, actually, this one could work like and then I'm getting dressed and I'm like, I think I'll take that vest today and that one. Or maybe I'll take that silk robe.
Yeah.
It's just fun. It's just really fun getting dressed that way.
And the other thing that's cool about Value Village, because I do love going to Value Village, and in fact any thrift shop really, but Value Village is about, I guess, if you're watching outside of Toronto at least, it's probably the most popular or the largest chain of
It is.
thrift stuff.
I will say Value Village is a for-profit company.
Oh, I have heard, yeah.
And
that's true.
which, it's like they're taking donations and then making money. So like
Yeah.
when I can, I go to, the indie thrift stores or the some of the local ones actually put their proceeds towards charity and good work, and like I prefer those. I prefer them. I will shop at Value Village, however.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, but because at Value Village, it is like it's probably the most common.
It's like
it's like
Goodwill.
there's a bunch of locations around. But the thing that's cool about when you go there is like one, yeah, you're gonna find things that rarely you'll see anywhere else. And the other thing is like it's not like you'll find like good quality things, right? Because like it's not like these are like. I mean, like I said, you'll find worse quality things in like a regular clothing store. But a lot of these things, like I remember one time I found like there was like a London Fog like jacket, and it still had the label on it, and I'm like, I don't even know how this ended up here.
Someone
I'm
just
like,
didn't wear it.
someone just didn't wear it. So
It's funny when I go to Value Village, I'm like, I always try to see if anything that I've given to Value Village is
there.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder if this was mine. Like, it's a fun little searching game. JVR 9000 is in the chat, says hello.
oh, hello,
Hello, JVR.
welcome,
1000.
welcome to the show. If you're just tuning in, we are here with actor and many other hats,
Many scarves,
many scarves, many scarves,
Love that. Yeah.
many curtains. Yeah,
many curtains, Michael.
Michael Masurkevitch. Did I get it right that time?
That was great.
So Michael, you and Scott actually met at a film festival, and I know you mentioned the film festival earlier. But but I don't know you. So I know Scott did a little bit of an intro. Can you maybe tell our viewers and myself who you are, what you do?
Oh, yeah, I guess that
and the
would've been a good
words
way.
from you, not from Scott. We should have started there, but
Good call.
No, this is very cool how it has been flowing organically. However, yes, I would love.
I'm like,
to
I don't know you. Our viewers don't know. Who's this guy? Tell us.
Random dude. Yeah, so I acting is my main thing. I love it. I push myself to try to do it as much as I can and to take, like, I do a lot of low paid things, unpaid things. You know, I canceled some plans for Tuesday because my friend reached out and was like, "Hey, do you want to act in this thing?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I do." You know, because I love it so much, and every opportunity is just a chance to try to get better at it. And then, of course, sometimes the independent film has a budget, or sometimes I, get to be a day player on a union show, or sometimes I book a commercial, which I love the amount of money in commercials because, in a commercial, they're paying a legal fee to use your face for their product for a given amount of time on whatever platforms.
Yeah.
So it's a great paycheck. I love that stuff.
Commercials pay it. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
nice. Yes.
But yeah, so acting is my main thing. And then, for money, when that's dry, I do a variety of other things for money. I also live in my parents' basement, which super helps. Shout out mom and dad, really supporting me. I live, part of the reason that I still live with them is because when I was 17, I had a baby, who to this day lives with myself and my parents in my parents' house. So we're incredibly lucky to get to have him around, and he's he's
Not
my
a
pride,
baby
my joy.
anymore. Yeah.
He also, like, it's funny. His friends are like, "Hey man, your dad's so cool because he's an actor," and he's like, "No, just." I'll be like, "Daniel, like I think it's so cool that you're into photography. You should get into the arts." He's like, "Dad, I'd like to make money in my life, not pursue a career in the arts." I'm like, "Oh." So, but yeah, parenting's a big part of my life. And then, when I was just getting into acting, before I started to realize how deep acting can get, and that the reason I wasn't booking as much as I wanted to was because I just wasn't good enough yet, because I needed to train and grow and deepen myself. I was like, well, no one else is casting me, so I'm just going to start writing some things. And then it grew and it grew, and now, like, I've written like a bunch of screenplays, and I actually took a year off to just do some writing. So I've really, really been enjoying the writing aspect.
Nice.
What I love about acting is that I get to, like, live in another person's human experience and birth another human's emotional story into life through me as a conduit, and have those experiences and those emotions. I love it. And then as a writer, I get to do that with all the characters, not just mine. So to me, there's acting things that are just acting, like having the emotions flow through your body. There's writing things that are just writing, like story structure. But there's also a lot of crossover that I've really been enjoying. And then recently, so music, all my life, one of my processing mechanisms has been like, oh, I'm feeling really excited today. I'm just gonna write a song about me being excited today. Oh, that was a really bad breakup. I'm gonna write a song about my pain. And then during the pandemic, we were working on a couple of independent films, but a lot of the work was it was a bit slower in the acting field.
Yeah, and a lot of distance, and you couldn't really see a lot of people, and a lot of it was very isolating time.
It was.
Yeah.
And and one time I went out to the woods to talk to myself about my feelings, which is like a huge part of my life. It makes me a better person and a better actor. And I just started, like, singing to myself until I was crying, and afterwards I was like, maybe other people also need to hear the words that my crying self sang to me in the forest today. So I was like, maybe it's time to actually take a song out of the, hundreds of voice notes in my phone of like snippets of, oh, this chorus would be cool. Oh, this one's cool. Maybe it's time to finally like get one produced. So I got it produced. It was called Decompress. And so that's out there. It turns out that like getting people, because there's so much music right now, getting people to listen to your music is like almost as hard as like making it. So, I'm working on that.
Yeah.
But then that's become a bigger part of my life because now I have a relationship with this fantastic music producer, Julian Cassia. So now when when I'm looking through my voice notes on my phone and I'm like, oh, I really like this one, I go, hey, Julian, I need to book a commercial so I have money to pay you to do this first. But when I do, like, here's our next song. So music has become a bigger part of my life. I just released a sort of racier one.
Yeah.
A lot of songs about sensuality for the last who knows how long have been from a male gaze, have been about, men receiving enjoyment and women providing enjoyment. And then Flo Rida's song Blow My Whistle Baby came out. And I was like, where are the songs from the other side? So then I started to write a song, and this was like years ago, but, again, after Decompress, Julian was like, hey, what else you got? And I was like, well, I do this, this kind of comedic, ironic, a little bit more racy, sensual, if you will. Spicy. Yeah, a little spicy. It is called Sit on My Face.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was really fun, and that one is harder to market because I'm not emailing.
Specific.
Yeah, I'm not emailing radio stations.
Hey.
But I printed off a bunch of stickers with QR codes to the song, and then I'll like show up in Burlington and just like wander around between the bars.
Just like plaster places.
Yeah. I have seen some of the videos where you're just. So you're basically just getting random people to listen to it on the street.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I walk up to people. I've got a spiel now. It took some development, but I walk up and I'm like, "Hey guys, sorry to bother you. So I'm just trying to get people to listen to this song I just dropped. Now it is a little edgy. It's ironic. It's a comedic pop single.
Just gonna start using spicy now.
Spicy is coming in.
Add that to the script.
It's gonna be in a song.
Coming in hot. Yeah, spicy from Regine from the Sit Down.
Uh-oh.
And then I'm like, would you like a sticker? The song is called Sit on My Face. And then some people are just like on board with me, and then they hear the title and they're just like, oh, that's not for me. And I'm like, that's okay. Some people, like, I walk up, I'm like, hey guys, I'm just trying to get people to listen to a song I just dropped, and they're like, no, thank you. And I'm like, okay, next. One time I had a guy yell at me really loud. Just like, hey guys, I'm just trying to get out of my face. I was like, okay, I'm not going to
That should be your next song.
Get out of my face. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. It's a nice sequel.
Exactly.
Actually. Get out of my face. So, like with acting and everything else in my life, there is a lot of rejection to handing stickers out with QR codes. But a lot of the people like hear the title and go, oh, that's hilarious. And sometimes, because I'm from Kitchener-Waterloo, so especially in Waterloo, I go back out with more stickers. And then the people I saw 2 or 3 weeks ago are like, yo, it's the Sit on My Face guy. And then they're like singing the chorus to me in the streets. And I'm like, this feels amazing. I want more people singing my music to me as I walk down the streets.
So this might be a sleeper hit, maybe.
Maybe.
It's like kind of picking up some underground steam here.
It is an underground marketing approach.
Yeah.
I've got a couple more coming out that are a little more mainstream. So I'm hoping that like I'll do more social media posting about those, and then people will like see it and go, oh yeah, I'll check out Kisspocalypse, I'll check out The Traveling Life. Those are my next 2 songs.
Sweet.
And then they'll be like, oh, what's this other one?
Nice.
Yeah.
So, and I know you have a music account as well. Borrowed Thoughts?
Borrowed Thoughts. That is correct.
Is that on Instagram?
Yeah, borrowed.thoughts, I believe. Links in the description is below to that, so follow that. I guess you post most of your music stuff on there, yeah?
Yeah. I usually post it to actor.michael as well. But
Okay,
if
nice.
you're looking on like Spotify or Apple Music or iTunes or Deezer or Pandora, Borrowed Thoughts is what it's under.
Sweet.
Yeah.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
So yeah, follow there for the latest. I wanted to ask you a little bit more about the acting and the experience of being an actor, because I think it's cool
course.
how your son's friends say, "Oh wow, it's so cool because he's an actor, and it's so cool to be an actor." Because I think from the outside, I was thinking about this myself the other day, because like the film industry in general, right? It's marketed as this like really glamorous. People think about it. People who aren't in it think of it as like red carpets and like photo shoots and like this whole glamorous side. But anybody who's actually worked in the industry, when you're actually going through it and working on a set, it's not a glamorous feeling thing while you're doing it. I found, you're working with, the crew, and there's tools, and there's holding things and moving bars around, and like for me it's always felt very technical and almost like it's similar to like, I don't know, doing construction almost, a lot of the feeling. So I wanted to ask a bit about like that feeling, and then also maybe I should ask you as well about, just because I'm an actor as well, rejection is a huge part of it. And like just sort of dealing with that rejection, and like almost like you have to go in and like do your best thing, and then somebody will just knock it down, and you have to be like, all right, thanks, see you tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like you have to find that to keep going. So
Totally.
Talk a bit about that side of it, about sort of staying into it despite the rejection is a big part of it. Well, but that is what
Are you
part.
good?
Yeah,
But
it's okay to be
like,
dealing with some
Yeah.
things.
Hang on,
This
are
is
you
okay.
okay?
Yes, but so I mean, every artist kind of has to deal with that. Is it's like you kind of,
Totally.
because when you create something, like it's always personal, whether it's music, whether it's your own film or writing or something, or you're auditioning, you're putting yourself into something, creating something, but you also have to accept that like you're going to go into that room, and then it's just going to be like, nope, you're not the one, and you have to just be willing to just take the hit, go back, learn the next part, and try again. And that's like a huge part of it. So I don't know. I wanted to kind of talk about that, because I think, well, you're an actor as well. So
Yeah, no, totally. Great question. I love that. So to the first side, and you're right, because, you see the movie and you're like, wow. You see the red carpet photos and you're like, wow. You're not seeing, like, I had an experience where I worked on a commercial, and it was really great. Everyone's really fun. I got to play a rock star who was obsessed with teeth for this American dental insurance commercial. It was a great time. And, and the one AD, really fun guy. He was really nice to us. He was like a second or third AD. And then 3 weeks later, I was walking around Toronto, and I saw him and someone else from the crew, I think one of the grips, sitting on the street, looking a little rough. I was like, guys, hey, how you been? They were like, oh yeah, actually, that was our last gig, and we haven't worked in 3 weeks. And I'm just like, oh man. And that's crew people, let alone actors. Like, when you see me on screen, you're like, wow, he's killing it. He's an actor. That's so cool. You don't see like the hundreds of auditions that I'm throwing out there. You don't see like me crying in my parents' basement, being like, should I give up? No, not today. I gave up yesterday. Maybe we'll give up again tomorrow. You don't see that part. But the other side of that is the uniqueness is that, like, all right, can you move that light over? Okay, can you do this? All right, you guys know your lines? Yeah, okay. Can you make sure that you set that down and then walk? Because in the next scene, that's already on the table. Okay, good. Technical. And then this magical thing happens where the director says action, and suddenly all of the little puzzle pieces that are, sort of boring and technical and, all of this come together to just create this other world where people are just feeling these real emotions, and the people watching it get to feel their feelings from the feelings that they're seeing, and and there's this artistic synergy happening where the grip that taped the cord across the floor so that the actor didn't fall on it, and the sound guy that's just kind of standing, the boom op that's standing there like this for 12 hours, between action and cut, suddenly all of these puzzle pieces are just this beautiful moment of artistic synergy that is passionate and real and raw and creating something for other people to share in an intimate, emotional way. And it's amazing. I mean, that being said, if you're working construction, you're laying bricks for a place for someone to feel at home and maybe have a family, or maybe cry in their parents' basement or something. So, like, yeah, I think to a degree that is true for every industry.
But no, you are right. Actually, that moment between action and cut is. I like how you said earlier, how when you said you were on set in the last film, how you suddenly realized how good the crew was, and you suddenly felt like, oh man, do I even belong here? And like, oh, because it's so good. But it's because there's something so magic of like every single person there is a specialist in whatever their thing is. Like it is,
Yep.
And so when all of those people who are really good at what they're doing come together to create this one thing, I mean, there's very few things like that in the world, I think. So it's it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, well stated. I totally agree with that.
Oh, what is it about? What do you think? Is it about acting that made you want to be an actor? What do you think it was? Have you always wanted to be an actor? Was it something you always dreamed of doing? What actually pulled you into pursuing it?
It's a great question. Yeah, so I mean, part of it is that my parents were sort of old-fashioned Eastern Europeans, and they didn't believe in television. We didn't get a lot of TV. Actually, I think it's that I was a hyper child, and I would get really excited by watching TV, and then my mom would be like, all right, it's time to turn off and do other things, and it'd be a big fight. So finally they just like got rid of the channels, and like once a week we'd watch movies together as a family, and it was cute and lovely. But this means that I had a lot of time playing outside alone or playing outside with my sister, trying to keep us both entertained. And I just started making up imaginary friends who like had a rich social life, and like I at one point a love triangle developed between like we had two imaginary friends. We each had an imaginary friend who was a human, but then we also had like a group of imaginary friends who were two cats and a dog. And and there was all this drama and intrigue and emotions, and like it was great. It was the early training for that, and that combined with just being this really weird, sensitive child that like the other kids would be on the playground and I'd be like, hiding behind a bush, writing a song by rewriting the words to Barney to like, I love you, you love me, da 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 da. I like, when I was in grade 4, the teacher would put on Pachelbel's Canon and let everyone do like, creative writing or silent reading. I just remember I was under a table rewriting the lyrics to I love you, you love me with something that felt emotional to me at the time. And the tears were just streaming down my face.
As you do in grade 4.
As one does in grade 4, yeah. Just bawling under a table at the beauty of your own lyrics in grade 4. And they were, and this was not necessarily well written, but at that time it was just beautiful. So I think, imagining made up things and then feeling emotions from it has been a big part of my whole life, and that's part of what got me into it. Another thing is that I had a pathological need for attention, just like busy parents. And so part of, like, when I wanted to get into it, part of it was from a perspective of, oh, this brings fame, right? Well, fame sounds great because I don't have enough self-worth. I need attention. And then, and then when you going back to your other rejection question, when you approach it like that, every single rejection is just a hit to that tenuous self-worth. And, and I found that I was like self-sabotaging a bunch of my auditions because it was better to be able to be like, well, I forgot to do my lines. I didn't know my lines because of this happened last night and this happened last. And then to be like, oh, I went in, I gave my best. They didn't want it, like you said. So, so that was definitely challenging. And then through a combination of acting and other things, I started to discover meditation. And just like sitting with myself and being like, hey, subconscious, I've noticed that we've been sabotaging my auditions in increasingly creative ways. Let's talk about this. And then just like holding a calm, loving space for the different parts of myself to talk. And, and just discovering things like I had developed this motivational tool of just tearing myself apart emotionally in my own head when I failed something. Through some misguided idea that if you do something and you don't like the results, then you should be really, really mean to yourself in your own head, because that'll motivate you to do better. And, right. And
an interesting approach, maybe.
I think a lot more of us do it subconsciously than we think.
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah.
Right. But then, subconsciously, I was doing this until this other part of my subconscious, the part that allows emotions to flow and that is cute and artistic and vulnerable and sincere, the part that you need to engage as an actor, was feeling really hurt and sad because every time I didn't book an audition, it would just get torn to shreds until finally I was like, no, I don't want to play with you anymore, Michael. You're mean to me. But I did some meditating and like finally, like, at the risk of sounding like a weirdo, got the different parts of my inner subconscious psyche to start talking with each other and started improving the relationship and being like, hey, and it's cool. A lot of existential philosophers talk about how, there's all the voices in your head. We should go do this. No, we shouldn't. You're a terrible person. No, I'm not. All these little voices in our head, but we are the voices, but we're also this magical awareness that is listening to the voices. Because if we were only the voices, how would we hear the voices? So it stands that we must also be the awareness that is hearing the voices. So just like finding that place of the awareness and sitting in that so that the parts of my subconscious feel safe to come out and talk to each other. And sometimes they need to cry, and sometimes they need to scream, and sometimes they need to hit a punching bag, and like there's a lot of feelings and there's a lot of nuances of our subconscious. It's almost like every big emotional memory kind of grabs a still frame of your psyche, and then that part of you that's your inner child that was standing there at the door crying because your parents thought you were asleep and it was fine to like go out for a half hour, and then you woke up and you were alone and you were crying at the door for like until they showed back up and you cried yourself to sleep. That's a little still frame. That part of my inner child is in there, and it is very, very sensitive, and it needs to be like loved and hugged and treated very gently. But when it's on board and I am playing a character that feels abandoned and worthless, then I get to be like, hey buddy, you want to come play? And if that part of me feels loved and feels held and we've been having good talks, then it'll say, yes. Blah! And then I'm just, sitting there just like allowing this part of me to combine with that part of the character, and I'm just sobbing on camera, and afterwards I'm like, this is amazing. Thank you, parents, for abandoning me that one time, because now this is the best. So but sort of to circle back. So part of what pulled me into, and I have great parents, by the way. They're fantastic people. They're super supportive. My crazy issues are my own, but the self-worth issues and the need for attention that drew me to fame, that by proxy drew me to acting, forced me to try acting until I started to train and get deeper and realize I really, really love the craft itself. And for a while, like, I would have a yearly crisis where I'd be like, Michael, we're still not rich and famous. We're still just getting rejected all the time. Should we give up? Well, Michael, we could. But don't you really love that thing that we do where you, like, live in other emotions? Yes. Okay, why don't we just keep doing that? Fine. Okay, I guess we didn't give up acting again this year. That's great. I'm still doing it. This happens regularly.
And every actor goes through this, by the way, Regine, what he was just describing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it's a weird thing. That's the thing, being on the set, going through that, like, it's still just the most fun I ever have. Like, every time I'm there, even, it doesn't even matter what the work is. You know, obviously, if there's more to do or more to get into, it adds to it. But like, even if it was just like a commercial, putting a coffee cup down, just being in that environment with everybody
gives you adrenaline.
Yeah, it's so special. Something very special about it.
You know who's also special?
Our advertisers.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna do our ad break. Perfect,
All right.
Perfect timing. Good transition, Regine.
I tried.
Everybody. Oh, also, hello, Rebecca Lamour. Hello. She says, "Hey-o, hello."
What's up?
Hello, Rebecca. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, today's episode of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown is brought to you by the following fantastic advertisers. They make this show possible. Let's meet them, starting with Jeanette McKenzie. The Toronto real estate market is growing and changing every day. In these challenging times, you need someone in your corner. Jeanette McKenzie, Realtor at Forest Hill Signature, is committed to looking out for you. She'll go the extra mile to ensure you have all the information you need to make a decision you can feel confident about. Purchasing a home is one of the biggest financial investments you'll make in life. Don't leave it to chance. Call Jeanette McKenzie at Forest Hill Signature. She's my realtor, and she could be yours. Call today at 416-523-0408 or email at jmckenziehomes@gmail.com. Jewelry Forever. Conveniently located at CF Markville Shopping Center on 5000 Highway 7 East Markham, they do custom-made jewelry. Repairs. They have custom laser engraving. And they change watch batteries, all done on site. Jerry at Jewelry Forever, an incredible artist. Do you have a vision for something original you'd like made? Or do you have something damaged that you need repaired? We saw him restore a ring that had been run over by a car. It was flat. And he was able to bring it back using photo reference. Really talented guy. Anyway, check him out. And we have a great deal worked out with them, don't we, Regine?
Yes, we do. If you go in and let them know that Scott and Regine sent you, you'll get 15% off your entire purchase.
That's right, 15%, 15%. Mention the show. Get a great deal. Follow them on Instagram and TikTok. You can see a lot of the behind-the-scenes videos of repairs and things he does. And you can find out more at jewelryforever.ca. Beautified by Romina.
Internationally trained hair and makeup artist. She is the official hair and makeup artist of The Sit Down. Not only does she do our hair and makeup for our photo shoots, as you see there, but also when we do go on stage, whether we're emceeing,
red carpet events, judging, anywhere we got to be out there in front of people with the lights on.
Hopefully the lights are on.
We're going to be visible, because we're visible. I was thinking stage lights, but I guess in general, the lights are on, you can be seen. So anywhere.
If you are looking to get beautified for your weddings, your pageants, your headshots, reach out to her on Instagram and Facebook at Beautified by Romina.
There you go. And if you'd like to advertise on the show, it's very easy, right, Regine?
It's simple. All you have to do is email us at radioshowad. That's radioshowad@gmail.com.
That's right. We do this show live every week, people, and we do the ads live week to week.
And we need to keep our lights on week to week.
We got to keep the lights on. That's right. So, what does that mean? It means you could personalize the ads week to week. Do you want to have an event, a sale, something happening at a particular time, a particular place? You let us know. We let your potential client base know in real time. It's a great way to build a brand new relationship with a brand new audience. Get in touch. radioshowad@gmail.com.
Yes, sir.
And we're back. Hello, everybody. If you're just tuning in, welcome to episode 262
Jeez.
of The Sit Down with Scott Young. 262 episodes, Regine.
That is wildly impressive.
It's been quite a
It's
ride.
wild, that's for sure.
It's been a ride, It's been a ride. And we are here with actor Michael Masurkevitch. Did I get it right again?
Perfect.
Nice.
You did much better than the vast majority of teachers all my life.
Oh, all right, good. I try. I want to ask you a little bit about I said you've done a bit of producing, a bit of the sort of the other side of the
Dabbled,
process, you
yeah.
know, so you've been in front of the camera and you've done a bit of behind the camera stuff. I do want to ask you a bit about that because I know, kind of piggybacking off of what we were just talking about, is I found for me being able to like process going through auditions and like dealing with the, oh, okay, you didn't get it, you know? I found one thing that helped me learn a lot about how to deal with it and also how not to maybe take it personally was when I finally had an experience of running an audition myself for my own projects. Because for the first time I got to see like from basically what is the auditioner person seeing when these actors are coming in, right? And obviously I've been in their shoes, but it was so interesting to see. The one thing I noticed was, I don't know why I was able to teach myself, was like, you can go in and give your best work. And there's nothing you can do better, but you still won't get the part. And the reason was, like I said, I was sitting there watching these people audition for me, and I'm like, wow, this person's great. But then I'll go, but they don't quite fit this character that I'm looking for. You know what I mean? Like, so as the director, as the writer, I have a vision in my head of like, what does this person sound like, or what is their, you know? And that can change depending on the actor coming in. But for the most part, I just remember seeing a lot of actors come in who are great, and then thinking, oh, this is, and then what would happen when they would come in is that I would remember them. I'd be like, that person would be great for this other thing I'm thinking of, you know? Who knows? That, you know, I might give that person a call in a year or two, you know what I mean? But so I just found, I learned a lot at how to be an actor from actually auditioning other actors. So I just wanted to be curious what your experience has been, you know, working on the other side of the camera, and how did that impact how you approach acting, or is there, I don't know, anything about that? Tell me about the producing side.
Totally. And I think that's very wise, and I love that you said that, because that's exactly it. One time I walked into an audition, this is years ago, this is for a Kit Kat commercial, and I had a little mustache, and I borrowed my dad's glasses from the 80s. And as I go into the audition, and this was for like a very simple thing, they just wanted you to be real relaxed and natural for this thing. I walked into the audition, and the director was like, you look like my dad did in the 80s. Guess who booked the role? Me.
Nice.
So that time I'm the guy who looked like his dad in the 80s, and I booked the role. How many times has someone else looked like his dad in the 80s and they booked the role? And, you know, there is exactly that element of just like, there's so much that goes into that decision, you know, from like, well, you know, this character's hair color is this, and we really like this guy, but we also like that guy, and that guy's hair color just looks better next to this other character who we've already cast. Like, there's just so much. So, you know, you're exactly right. You cannot control the outcome. And this is why for a while I was sabotaging myself subconsciously, is because the only way to have control over the outcome is to not do your best, not, you know, somehow by whatever dark magic, not kill it the way that you want it to, and then you know you didn't get it, and you know why.
Yeah.
Although occasionally you think that you did that and you still end up getting it. Occasionally, very rarely though. But you know, that's the only way to control the process is to not do a good job. Once you do a good job, you completely let go of control, because now whether or not you book the role is up to decisions that have nothing to, well, not nothing to do with you, but you know, that you can't control. There's and you know, and sometimes, like one time I got to do the background role on this commercial, where it was literally, I was wearing like a nude thing, and it was for a testicular cancer awareness. So there were two actors whose faces were in front of a green screen playing each of the testicles and having a conversation with each other. And I auditioned. I was in callbacks. They brought me in and out of those callback rooms like 6 times. I was like, man, I think I got this. And then they were like, you know what? Like, we needed 2 actors. You were 3rd place for both. So do you want to just be the set of naked legs behind them? And I was like, all right, I'll take it. I'll take, you know, whatever, sure. I
really wanted to be the testes.
I did. Well, because they had the lines, you know. They got to actually play. And they got to have their faces in it. I love having my face on camera. I don't remember where I was going with this anymore.
Sorry.
It was we were talking about just the realizing that you can't control.
Yeah. Well, yes. So, and what I've kind of learned is that if I go in thinking about the audition as a gateway to a gig, then I'm in the audition and I'm it's hard to relax to the point of being an open vessel for the character to flow through if I've got some really strong emotion about what I'm doing, that I really want the role, or that I really need the money, or that, well, whatever, So I've learned to treat every audition as just the pleasure of auditioning, because the craft of acting, the craft of sitting there with emotions flowing through us, is the prize, is the delight and the learning experience of getting better at it. So when I'm on my game, and some days I'm not on my game, some months, some periods of months, I'm not on my game, and I just go into every audition stressed and angry, and then I look, and then that shows in your performance, and they're like, I know this is a really happy role, but he was kind of stressed and angry. I don't know. Next. But when I'm on my game, every single audition is just a chance to get better at doing what I love, which is the craft of acting. And then I go in, and I allow myself not to care about the results, because it's not about the results. It's about getting better at this craft I really love, which is auditioning and acting is part of the audition. And then I do it, and then I come out, and then, first of all, I'm a lot more likely to book because I've given up control, allowed them to make that decision, and just done my best. And I've definitely done a better job because I've been more emotionally relaxed, so the emotions of the character can flow through me better. And second of all, even if I don't book it, it's still okay. I'm still happy because I did that thing I really love, and that's all it was about, and it was great. And it's then so much easier to be like, on to the next, that was really fun. I can't wait for my next audition, because when I was doing that thing of the self-sabotage and the negative self-talk, and every audition was about the gig, and then not getting that gig was just not only sad to not get the gig, but also impacting my self-worth issues. It's very difficult to perform, and it's very difficult to be excited, especially for the next gig. You walk out of that audition, and and then a week later you find out you didn't get it, and then you're yelling at yourself, and then you're trying to get excited for the next audition. It's very difficult.
Yep.
But when it's just about the audition, then you walk out of the audition and you're like, that was great. Are we gonna book it? I don't know. That'd be great, because I'd love to play with that character again. But also, I got to play with that character. I'm grateful, and I'm excited for the next character I get to play with. So, some actors some of the really big actors, you'll see them quoting like, our job isn't making, acting in the sense of movie. Our job is audition. If you're an actor, your job is auditioning.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And every now and again, we just get to have this fun thing where we get to be on set, but our actual job, is to go to the audition. And I did a workshop a few years ago with a guy he was a casting director. Like I can say his name, Mike Migliera. He was really good, but he's a casting director.
I've heard of him. That's cool. That's cool.
So I did his workshop, and I remember his big thing was talking about how, like, you should look at the audition as a performance. Like, from the moment you walk into the room, even like before you're even giving your character, like he even was suggesting, like, you should almost kind of already be in character as you're coming into the audition room. That way people see you kind of as that the whole time. Like, not like over the top with it, but just kind of like, if it's a serious thing.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, so that's he was pushing, and like the audition itself is your performance, the whole thing. And so it was, anyway, learned a lot from that.
Yeah, that's very cool. That's very cool. That's interesting. I mean, I think for me, the biggest game changer for acting for me has been just the idea of allowing. So if I'm trying to be the character, then I look like a guy who's trying to be the guy. I got to be. Sorry, I'm a little dry here.
That's all right.
I got to be the guy who's just allowing myself to be that guy. So for me, like, I do a quick meditation before I go into the audition. I'm running through my chakras. I come in, I'm relaxed, I'm friendly, but I'm not like over the top friendly because I'm kind of in this internal zone. And then, and then when it's time to do the character, I'm already sort of relaxed and connected to my emotions. And then when they're like, all right, that's enough, thank you, then I can kind of come out of my chakras, and then I can be like, guys, that was great, thank you so much, have a great day. But are you guys familiar with like chakra meditation?
I'm
heard
not
of
really.
it.
Are you? Yeah.
No.
Not really.
I'm not a
Okay.
meditator.
I've heard a lot of people talk about the benefits and like the things you can get from meditation, but it's not something I've walked down that path yet.
Valid. You know what? I found that for me as an actor, it was really, really useful because it just promotes connection to your deepest emotions, which you then use as a character. So I've found it really useful. I think you'd love it, Scott. I mean,
I could see that actually. You know, what's actually also the thing is that's changed though, as I've noticed, is obviously since COVID, right? So many of the auditions now have gone to self-tape auditions. So I just think you probably had that experience too. And so one thing I noticed was like, in a way, it's easier in that, I can take as many takes as I need to, right? And so I think also because of that, there is that less pressure of like, I still remember that feeling of being, outside in the audition room lobby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're again. I mean, I said I'd never meditated, but I think what I was when I had to get myself into character, there was always that moment of like I needed a few minutes to like, sit down, close my eyes. Even though there's a couple actors here, I know them, I've said my hellos, but I'm not chatting with you now. I need to be by myself for a few minutes, and I need to like find this person.
100%.
And I found that switching to the self-tape, like, that kind of was gone for a long time because I didn't have that moment. I was just like, all right, my camera's set up, I'm at home, my girlfriend might be doing my reads or sometimes a friend or whoever.
Of course.
And so that changed a lot of it for me. And I only got a bit of that back when when was the last time I've done it in person? Now it's like all the auditions, even the live ones are like over Zoom.
So
So it's I don't know. I guess I should ask you, how have you found that the self tape audition, or are you doing a lot of self tapes, or or is it mostly in person for you, or how have you found it?
Honestly, the last year I've taken a little bit of a sabbatical. I've been focusing on the writing and the music and some really fun indie projects. But occasionally, and I love this, occasionally an industry contact will reach out and be like, hey, do you want to audition for this? And I'm like, yes, obviously.
So that's nice. So that means that's like people are like they remember you and they're like, oh, you might be good for this. So,
yeah. Well, and a lot of like there's a lot of people will say like, oh, it's not about your skill, it's about who it's about partying. I mean, on at the highest levels, no, you will have a good agent and it's about who they know, because then they will get you into the audition room, and then it's about your performance in the audition room. But for a lot of independent stuff and passion projects, and even sometimes for commercials, especially like spec commercials, but like even sometimes the bigger ones, if you have good relationships with people and they know that they can depend on you to do the work, they've worked with you before, they know that you're enjoyable to work with, but they also know that you can bring a certain level of skill. It's like you said, you auditioned for that role, you didn't get it, or you did get it and they saw you in that role, and now they're casting for this other role and they're like, oh, what was that guy? I got to do a little comedic commercial like 3 weeks ago, because one of the producers on it had also been a producer on this Odd Shark commercial, whereas this dude wearing a shark costume who just was constantly spitting out betting odds about things happening in his family life to his cousin. And he was like, so then they're doing this comedic commercial and he's like, this brand of comedy reminds me of something. Oh, yeah, that shark commercial I did. Oh, that guy, yeah, he had this brand of comedy. You know what? I think he'd be good for it. So he reached out to me, auditioned. They were like, that was a great audition. Yeah, come on in.
Nice.
And that was really cool. Self-tapes, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, yeah, okay, we got there.
It's okay. Yeah, it's a winding road.
Yeah.
It's a winding road. I like it this way. It's better.
Yeah, I actually, I really like the style that you guys have of it just being very organic and flowy. That's really neat.
We try.
Yeah, that's good. But yeah, so the self-tape thing, part of it is that for me it was a very good thing to have more time for each audition, because instead of like being in the waiting room being like, okay, I have 5 minutes, wait, no, have they called me yet? No, okay, I'm gonna run through my emotions here. Oh, okay, I'm connected to my, my turn, okay, water, yeah, okay, should I have some coffee? No, just leave your coffee, Michael, we're just going in, maybe, shh, and, there is a bit of that, when I'm really on my game, it's, I am one with to go to the Force, the universe, the Star Wars thing that you love, there's a little bit of like, I am one with the Force and the Force is with me. Okay, my feelings are flowing. Okay, my feelings are flowing, and it would be the perfect time to get called. Michael Masurkevitch? Oh my God, this is perfect. Hey guys, I'm here. Yeah, and when you're locked into that, like, it's great. A lot of the times it's not that. But when it's a self-tape at home, I can take an hour to do yoga, and then
That's true.
And sometimes a self-tape is an all-day experience for me, because I'll be like, and I've learned to like have a day ready, because I'll be like, okay, I'm just gonna do like 20 minutes of yoga, 5 minutes of meditation, set up, do another quick like 2-minute chakra thing, and then dive in. And then I just encounter something in my energy where I'm just like, my emotions are not flowing. And then it's 4 hours later of just like rocking myself back and forth, being like, that thing that happened yesterday is okay, and I love you no matter what. That thing that happened yesterday is okay, and I love you no matter what. And then finally, my emotions are flowing. And, and by this point, my kid is like, Dad, when are you making dinner? And I'm like, yes. I just need 5 more minutes, I swear. And, and it can be an all-day thing to get into the perfect emotional place. But it's so nice to have the flexibility, because, if you're in an audition room for a live audition and they're going to call you in 5 minutes and you're like, wait, why aren't my emotions flowing? Oh my God, I'm still mad about that thing that happened yesterday. I have 5 minutes. Let it go. We are fine. Hello, inner child. I love you no matter what. Can we please save this for later? I have 5 minutes and then I have to go play this guy who's really happy. Can we please save this for,
It reminds me of the Hulk. Where like when he's like battling with himself, like, come out. No, that's what it.
It is kind of like that.
It is. Yeah, totally. So for me, I love self-tape auditions because I have I have a little more flexibility to have that internal battle before I go into the tape, and to me that's really fun and really valuable. And even if there are days that I'll spend all day, get into that emotional place, finally release something great, and then not get booked because, as discussed, that's how it works.
That's how it works. Yeah.
But it's still okay, because it allowed me to have an excuse to force myself to process those emotions and get to that emotional place, and let go of some things and heal some things and love myself through it. So then, it's all worthwhile anyway.
Yeah. And I do find now, like, even if I don't get the part, I find now I feel really good if I know, like, I came out the other side of it, either because I created a self-tape or, did the audition. If I feel like I hit what I wanted to hit or did what I wanted to do, or like I connected in the way that I need, like, if I come out the other side being like, yeah, because then I can say in my mind, I gave everything I have. This is what I wanted to do. This is how I wanted to do it. Got it. Maybe I got it, maybe I didn't, but at least I know that there was nothing more or different I could have done. You know what I mean? And you kind of see the victory that way,
Perfect.
So
and, and when that's not the case, then that means that that you have the added value of a learning experience where you can be like, oh, if I had done that, oh, okay, wait. And, and then it's easy to fall into like, oh, you should have. But if you stay out of the, oh, you should have, and just go, oh, you mean next time I can do this way?
Yeah.
Level up.
Exactly. It's a process.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. This has been great.
I will say that
Yep.
the in-person audition, and especially for callbacks, because in callbacks they're like, or more involved auditions, where they're giving you redirects and they're giving you
Yeah.
the in-person audition, just like, because it is a creative energy exchange. You come in and you give your energy into the writers give their energy into this idea, this character, this concept, and then the directors give that energy into their vision, and it's this energy collaboration. And then you're in the audition room and you've received that energy through the script and you've put your energy into it through your lines and your choices. And then you give them your energy by showing what you've developed and allowing it to move through you. And then they receive that energy and give you their energy of like, ooh, that gives me an idea. How about this redirect? Or, ooh, I can see that you've made choices and that you can live in choices. That's good. Try it with these choices. And now you're receiving that energy and reprocessing and being like, okay, how does that adjust? And you're giving it back. And it's just a really fun, beautiful energy exchange.
Yep.
And that is great about in-person auditions. And for a while, like, I was getting a lot of auditions and I was booking a lot of callbacks. But then I'd get to the callbacks over Zoom and it was just like,
It's not the same.
it was it took me a long time to learn how to, like, because then it's this weird thing where, like, in a self-tape, a lot of the energy exchange is internal. In the live audition room, a lot of the energy exchange is just flowing in the space between you and the table.
Well, it's more of a recreation of like the experience on set, right? Like when you're have everybody, and I know it took the Zoom audition was tough. It was harder for me even than the self tape because, there's a reader, but sometimes there's a slight delay and you can't really see them. You don't see them. You're not looking in their eyes. They're not looking in your eyes, so you're not able to do that same. Yeah, it's weird.
There's a sweet spot where you've got more like where you've got a combination of that self-tape internal energy exchange energy combined with that live room energy, but like a little more relaxed because you can't depend on them as much because there is a bit of a lag and they can only see this much of you. And so there is a sweet spot where you combine the internal self-tape process and the external live audition process into the Zoom callback for the right mix, and that is challenging. And
it's also the problem is there's to get that as well. There's a whole technical side that you don't have to worry about. Like, is your camera set up? Your lighting. Like when you go into an audition room, you're just thinking about you as an actor. When you're doing a self-tape or a Zoom, you're partially the director too because you had to create, you had to frame it, you had to like. Make sure your mics are right. Make sure you can. It's just there's a whole extra element.
I mean, at
to
least
it.
you have the whole setup, Scott.
I mean, that's the thing. I was put in, like, I was actually I was in an advantageous position for that just because I was already doing this show and also I do a lot of filming stuff on my own, so like that was good. But I can imagine, especially if you're just an actor who's focused on acting, that there would have been a huge learning curve there just to figure all that part out.
Totally. I actually kind of value that because, self-tapes forced me to understand. I'm not going to say it forced me to understand the nuances of lighting. It forced me to realize how much nuances of lighting there are that I don't know about, but at least to be able to pick out like, all right, so I'm gonna, okay, this will work. So it really helped me. Appreciate and acknowledge the other roles on set because of having to,
take it on yourself a little bit.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
Yeah, it's fantastic. This has been a great chat. It's been fantastic. Have you had fun?
Of course.
Yeah,
you guys are
great.
fantastic. This is very fun, very organic, very flowy.
Yeah. Well, we have one segment left.
Okay.
Now, this is a special segment. I'm going to ask: are you familiar with this? Have you seen this before?
I have a vague childhood memory of these.
Oh no, his inner child's
red
gonna come out.
yes, these red plastic monkeys, and I used to hang them on things.
Yes. So this is the classic game, Barrel of Monkeys. I believe it came out in 1965.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But we have a segment. Every guest participates, and it's a little challenge we do at the end of every episode.
Ooh.
So, ladies and gentlemen, introducing this week's edition of the Barrel of Monkeys World Championship.
that.
It's a very high budget show, as you can tell.
Yeah.
You spare no expense with the graphics there.
I mean, listen, that was great.
Go all out, you know. Okay, we'll show you how it works. So basically, the way it works. Do you want to do the
Sure.
demo? So it starts. The barrel will sit on the table.
Yes.
I will put 1 minute on the timer. Mm-hmm. I'll say 3, 2, 1, go. You grab the barrel. You pour out monkeys.
Yes.
You grab a monkey. You use that monkey to pick up a monkey. Then you're trying to hook the next monkey onto the next monkey, and the next monkey onto another monkey. Oh, and then you ended up with a bunch of monkeys there. Sometimes you get lucky. And you're going to try to link on as many monkeys as you can in 1 minute. At the end of a minute, we'll count how many monkeys you have. In this case, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yep.
5 monkeys. The one in your hand doesn't count towards your total.
Okay, got him.
And we'll just see how many monkeys you can get.
All right.
Do you have any questions? Any thoughts before we begin?
No, I'm just really excited.
All right.
All right.
This is we talked about the pressures of auditioning, the pressures of all of these things. This is the biggest challenge of all of them. Okay, so I hope you're ready. You can move the mic out of your way just so it's easier.
You can get it out of your
What's
way.
Just give her a slide that way. So maybe you can jump them there, I guess.
Yeah.
perfect. You need me to...
Oh, no, yeah, we'll adjust it
We'll
as we go.
adjust you.
Yeah, there you go. That'll work. Okay, so now let me get the 1 minute on the clock. Let's get the timer going. So have you played this game? I guess you said you have some memories from childhood, but you probably not. This isn't a game you probably played recently.
No, this was, they had one. We had a barrel of this at the cottage, and nobody ever taught me the rules.
Oh.
So to me, I'd be like, oh, look, I can hang these on things. And then, like, my parents would come in and be like, why are there all these monkeys hanging on things? And I'd be like, oh, I thought that's how this works.
So let's see.
Surprise.
So you have some experience hanging the monkeys.
Yeah.
So
But not
we'll see.
linking.
Yeah, we'll see if that pays off. Let's find out just how it's going to go.
All right.
All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. 1 minute is on the timer. 3, 2, 1, go.
Boom. Okay.
Ooh, I removed the.
Speaking to me. Okay. Oh, come on. Oh,
All right.
Okay.
We've got this is looking pretty good actually.
Oh.
Actually, this is looking pretty fantastic. 45 seconds remaining, and my goodness,
Okay.
I think we're seeing something here, Regine.
Oh, no.
Oh, we lost one. A monkey jumped off. It's okay.
No, come back, Bert.
Bert.
He's named the monkeys.
I know.
This one is Jim.
There we go.
Jim is a little tenuous.
Let's see.
On reality. Okay, Jim, you need to just...
You know what? Your
Oh, yeah.
your technique is really good actually. You've actually really got good control. I think we're seeing something special here, Regine.
Oh my god.
He's only got 2 monkeys left on the table.
10 seconds.
Oh my goodness.
Oh gosh.
3.
Oh my God.
He did it!
Yes!
I think he's got every monkey.
Smokes.
I have all of the monkeys.
I can't,
Within a second.
within
too.
one, yeah. We've just seen so that's
That's never happened before.
that's the first time we've ever
Yeah.
seen it happen.
Wow.
My gosh.
My
Okay, so
childhood experience paid off.
Yeah,
wow, so let's
really.
count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 monkeys.
Holy smokes.
Regina almost swore on the show. She was so excited. Everybody, we have a new first place
Holy cow.
champion.
Oh, yeah.
At least I got to
Unbelievable.
experience it this time.
Yeah, that was amazing. All right, let's update the monkey standings here. We have to update
This
it.
is amazing.
We have a new champion sitting on top. So, wow, unbelievable.
That was wild.
All right, so as I'm updating this, recount the experience.
How do you feel?
Let's talk about it. Post game analysis here. How did it go? And what was going through your mind as you were working?
Yeah, so first of all, like, that was really...
Can you please show the viewers what he's doing right now?
Yeah, he's celebrating with the chain.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. So first of all, I'd like to thank the Barrel Academy, because that was, it's been a lot of good childhood training.
Yep.
Actually, so if you look at this monkey, like, it's got sort of a pointy, like, scoop thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then it's got a little like thing there and a little like gap there, and I kind of realized like, oh wait, if I twist the monkey so that the scoop is this way, and then here's the excuse me, Jim. It does also help to name them.
Yep.
So, you know, the way this sits on the table, and then if you can sort of try to like just drag it, like gently push it down and then drag it backwards.
Yep.
Then that's.
But see, now I'm
work.
curious if you could do it with this one.
Yeah, this is a different version of the game we noticed we bought.
Oh.
One thing we noticed about it, we haven't started using it in the games because see how the
very
monkeys are a
different.
slightly different shape.
Oh, okay.
So that might be like something we move to in the future. But yeah, I did notice that right away. Right away, you did like.
He figured it out.
You found, yeah, because one thing we found a lot of times, if a monkey is sitting flat on the table, a lot of people struggle finding how to get that
How to
monkey
scoop
up.
it.
But
Yeah,
you had
yeah.
kind of figured out how to get that. You said the claw going.
That's
so
it. Yeah, the little.
it paid off. All right, let's take a look at the monkey standings.
This is amazing.
Look at that, right at the top, Michael Masurkevitch. Did I say that? Yeah, I feel like I'm saying it
Yes.
different every time. Masurkevitch. Okay, good.
You
Because
did
really well.
because the thing about it now.
Masurkevitch.
Oh, Masurkevitch. Sorry, Masurkevich.
Now he's gonna have to say it
The thing
every
is,
week.
I'm now going to have to pretty much say it every week, because every time we go back to the monkey standings, I'm going to have to mention that you're at the top.
That's
there you are.
fantastic.
12 monkeys, the highest possible score. So you know what that means then? The only way they'd be able to surpass him now, we'd almost have to take into account
We'd have to bring this one out.
either that, or it would have to be timing, because he basically grabbed the last monkey
At the last
at 1
second.
second. So the only way we could even go higher than his score is if it was
Maybe
like, oh, there were
before.
3 seconds left and we got all of them.
Yeah.
So that is strong, because you are at 12 monkeys, second place now.
10.
Previously first. The highest possible score was scored by Thea Asadilio and James Nickel. They had each got 10 monkeys each.
Very nice.
Damn, now we're at third.
We're in third. Third place was me, Scott Dion Brown, Regine Alaina, and Chad Beloin had 9 monkeys.
Let's
We
do
were
it
the
again,
only ones.
Scott.
But this is the first ever. We got all the monkeys, the highest possible
It
score.
only took us 2 years, but hey, we
Oh,
got
that
there.
is so cool.
It's unbelievable.
I am highly caffeinated. Like
Maybe that was the key. Well, we saw a lot of things. You know, we saw the caffeine, naming
Yep.
the monkeys.
naming them.
You know, it all
He
helps.
became one with the monkeys.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what it was.
they
Well,
were my friends.
we saw something special here today, everybody. And that concludes this week's edition
Oh,
of the Barrel of Monkeys World Championship. Wow. I did not expect that, Regine.
No, neither did I.
It's
me
amazing.
neither. That was actually like insanely fun.
And that was your first time playing it. But I guess, you know what, so the muscle memory of just hanging the monkeys on different
Yeah.
things, it kind of helped out.
Well, because, you know, like I would go and I'd be like, oh, okay, look. And then I'd be like, oh, how many of them can I do here, you know? So, like, this part,
So I mean, it's funny enough about that. It might have actually would have been, because you were at least familiar with how they behave, kind of.
yeah, the mechanics.
So maybe that kind of like there was something in your sight, in your memory that helped.
The inner child.
I will, yes, totally. I will also say that, like, you know, when you've got a big string of them, it's kind of challenging to, like, twist and have them all, like, stay stable while you're twisting.
Mm-hmm.
But the angle of the arm to the arm is, like, really key. So, like, twisting the whole monkey chain and then going for the scoop really helped me out.
Future guests are now listening to this.
That's right. We're
Very
gonna have to watch this
carefully.
episode to
That's
study
right.
up. To study up. All right. Well, we've pretty much come to the end of the show, everybody. What an incredible episode! I think we had a great episode. Like great
Yeah.
conversation, really deep conversation,
Totally.
and we saw some legendary monkey performances, which is even more amazing.
Yeah.
Where can people, if people want to find you, social media and all that stuff, let everybody know.
Totally. Biggest thing for me is Instagram at actor.michael. Or at Borrowed Thoughts Music. Facebook, it's Michael Masurkevitch. I don't know. If you reach out to me and you're like, oh, sorry thing, all right, I'll friend request you, whatever. I am on TikTok. I think it's like, might be Masurkevitch Life. I'd have to check. I think if you search Michael Masurkevitch on TikTok, you will find it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can add that link in the description. Right now, I've got actor.michael and borrowed.thoughts is down there right now.
Perfect.
On Instagram.
Yeah.
But we can add any others after the show.
Sure.
But
Oh,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
Spotify, Apple Music, all those. Borrowed Thoughts as well.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was very, very fun to get into, rejection and auditioning with with people who have experienced that. That was very cool.
I think there's also nice. It's also a little. Is it therapeutic? It is nice to just be able to talk about the shared. 'Cause
Totally.
As an actor,
I'm like, are you good? That's why I was like, is he okay?
But the thing is, honestly, every actor, anybody who's not an actor who knows an actor, understand that we kind of all have to deal with it because it is like you're working in the world of emotions, right? You can't help but there's a personal element to it, so you have to put a bit of yourself out there, and you're putting something yourself out there, understanding that like. You kind of just have to go in understanding that they're gonna. In fact, it's probably going to be no, which is the weirdest part because it's one role, right? And there are sometimes hundreds, sometimes thousands of people going for that same role, right? So just by sheer, I don't know, numbers or whatever, it's like it's a long shot. Probability, yeah. So every actor kind of has to figure out how to process and deal with that rejection. So anyway, it was nice to talk about.
100%. That's a great way to put it.
But it's true because like when you and I first met and you mentioned that you did acting, I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I'm like, oh, it ain't that cool.
I mean, the thing is,
it's cool, but it's not.
It is cool, but it's cool in a way that I think people not involved in it don't really understand.
Yeah.
That's valid.
Yeah.
Like it's really cool in that it kind of forces you to confront yourself and make friends with your demons and hold your inner child while you cry, which is not necessarily easy and is not necessarily glamorous, as you're ugly crying in your parents' basement, but is really cool because then you just have so much more bandwidth for everything else in your life.
To be fair, I've only auditioned twice and I got them both, so I don't know what rejection feels like.
Wow.
I waited till the end of the.
Thanks, Regine.
You're welcome.
I do appreciate you saving that.
I waited. So, anyways, we'll see y'all next week. Bye.
On that heartbreaking note, I'll just be in my parents'
But to
basement
be fair,
crying.
it was only twice. So.
Yeah, that's fair. And congrats, that's great.
Thank you.
Regine, where can people find you?
You all can find me on my YouTube channel for The Pageant Sit Down, where we do go live twice every month, where we interview and sit down with pageant enthusiasts. Last week we were just on air with Jewel, so if you haven't watched it yet, check it out. You can also find me on Instagram and TikTok at It's Regine Alaina. Link is in the description. And if you're looking for a pageant coach, pageant season is in full force. That's what I'm here for. Follow me on pageantcoaching.reginaalaina. Link is also in the description.
Yep.
If you go to my Instagram, go to my bio, my availability is all there.
Boom.
Scott.
Yep.
Where can people find you?
You can find me right here. Where you're watching this very video, youtube.com/ScottDionBrown. That's where you get the sit down every week. You get gaming. You get, we don't talk about Bruno. Other song covers. Others are coming soon. I'm Just Ken is coming soon.
What the hell, Scott? It's literally been a month.
I know, but
since I gave you a deadline of last month.
I know. But I have to finish another. I'm working on somebody else's video.
Oh, my Lord.
So
How about we focus
soon.
on you?
I wish. But, we'll get
Are you okay?
Yeah, more
today's
focus
episode.
on Scott.
That's right. That'll be my mid-year resolution.
Dude, it's the 24th.
I know. It's coming, though. It's coming. As soon as I finish this thing, maybe after the 30th, I'll have a lot more time. So we'll see
I
how it
gave
goes.
you a deadline of February 29th.
I know. That's how it goes.
For what? What is this?
I did a cover version of I'm Just Ken from the Barbie movie.
Oh, yes.
And I just haven't finished. I got to edit the video and do a few more little things. Like, honestly, there's quite a bit of work to do, but I can't work on it because I have to finish this other video that needs to be done anyway.
Okay.
So it's coming. So it'll be there soon.
I'm very excited to see your cover of this.
I will send it to you when it's ready.
I am waiting because I saw the props. So, hurry up.
I went all out with it. It's a full-out production, so I'm excited. Anyway, youtube.com/ScottDionBrown. That's where you're going to see it. You can also find me on Instagram and X if you want to at ScottDionBrown, but those are really satellites for the YouTube channel. YouTube is the best place. youtube.com/ScottDionBrown. Also, you can follow the show, The Sit Down with SDB on TikTok, The Sit Down with SDB on Insta, Sit Down Scott on X, The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown on Facebook, and you can also find us on Spotify and a couple other podcasting platforms.
You can also get our mugs, our
Teespring.com/The Sit Down Mug. Links are all in the description for the merch, and you can also find them underneath the video as well. Michael, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. You guys are super cool, and this was really, really fun.
It was fun. Good chat. I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah.
And hey, we got a new champion. We got a new monkey
I
champion.
know. Holy smokes.
Unbelievable.
I almost swore.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, Regine almost like
I was like, holy smokes.
it was pretty amazing.
I like that.
But yeah, everybody, thank you for being here. The way we like to end the show, in fact, it's perfect.
It's how you started the
Yeah, you know
show.
how we do the mug thing at the camera? I like to end the show.
Yes.
So Regina and I will say bye, and then we'll throw it to you, and you can say bye however you'd like, and then send that mug into the camera, and we'll end it like that. So everybody, thank you for being here. We'll see you all next week, next time. Bye, everybody. Bye, bye, bye. Thank you. Hit the like button, the subscribe button, and Michael will close out the show.
At least we think it's Michael. Oh, there's another layer. And another layer.
Never stop finding your truth and following your dreams.